Kawika Hoke, everyone, and welcome to another wonderful Sunday. And we're together.
We are.
We're together. We're actually
in the same room right now.
Yes, we're inhabiting the same space.
What?
Yes. By the power of modern air travel, I have finally made it back to Maui. Yeah, no, it's good.
Yes, welcome back.
Yeah, it's good. It's good to be back. It seems to be like the only time I'm actually ever on Maui is when I'm working, because I'm like I have to go back to California for everything else. So then, but it's just like it's slowly like one part at a time. I'm being able to afford to move back. Mm-hmm. So like I don't know, but it's like it's like the common like. Yeah. But anyways, enough about the regular Hawaiian struggle of life. How you been? Like, I mean, yeah, we just got back. I mean, we've been kind of hustling the past few days.
We have been hustling, dude.
Yeah.
We've been very productive the past few days. Like literally, yeah. Since you've gotten here, we have not had any downtime. We have just literally been going at it.
And bunny. Yeah, no, we got it. Yeah, no, it's good. It's solid. But you know what? I think we should probably just keep things rolling along. I don't know if like a 2-hour show is working or people like an hour 15, or we're gonna have all these extra segments. We're still waiting on some of our talk story folks right now. Our special guest. She had to rain check us because of something very important came up. But we'll talk about that with her when she comes back on the show, because that's her story to tell, but she does want to share it with us. So with that being said, announcements. We've
What's
going
on? What's going on?
Yeah. We still need to work on a jingle for that.
I do. Well, while you're here, we have to at some point a jingle. We got to put that on the list of all the things that we're going to be doing.
We will totally invent jingles.
We got to jingle it up.
Community announcements. Hey, for those of you out in the OC, out in California, Torrance area, all right, they got the Auntie Jerry Kuhia tribute concert coming up on June 11th. Check it out. It's going to be at the Torrance Cultural Arts Center. We got Steven Espanola and Faith Co. Some of Southern California's best halaus are going to be out there, and you can check it out if you go to auntyjerry.eventbrite.com. That's www.auntyjerry.eventbrite.com. And if you can't make them, send a couple bucks, bro. All right, they could use it. All right, spread the wealth that you do have. Help take care of the community. Speaking of which, community, Native Hawaiian Convention dates have moved. Okay, so like if all y'all were pretending on like spending part of the fall going up for Native Hawaiian Convention, it's now July 19th through the 22nd. And now I have to like decide every year whether I go Comic-Con or a Native Hawaiian Convention. So, Auntie, I'm sorry if I don't make them this year because I think it falls on the same date, and I already going Comic-Con, Auntie. I'm sorry.
Oh, but we're going to Comic-Con.
I know, but no. Hey, but you know what? Enough about that. So 21st annual Native Hawaiian Convention this year, July 19th through the 22nd. Huli'ia, hey, save the date. And you can check it all out at hawaiiancouncil.org/convention. All right? Get them tickets. Check them out. It's going to be at the Sheraton Waikiki, and you can, scoop up all that mana'o, learn from all those before you, trade it down, and see what you can do, what you can cool for the community. And, I'm kind of sad that dates move around, but we'll try to make two. Maybe I can try to learn how to be in two places at once. I don't know. But what I do know is that before we go on to things, we have an awesome word from our lovely sponsors at Newsly. Moving forward.
We live in a fast-paced world where many people are too busy to sit down and read books or news articles. But thanks to Newsly, you can now listen to the news you wish you had the time to read. By utilizing AI technology, a natural human voice reads you the news, helping you grasp the information faster and more efficiently. Newsly provides the latest news updates 24/7, letting you browse articles from topics you choose. It even has podcasts, including ours. And listeners of Rabbit Holes can get their first 30 days of premium for free, allowing you to enjoy an ad-free experience by using the special promo code in our episode description. So download Newsly today for free on iOS and Android, or visit www.newsly.me so you can stay updated on the things that matter to you.
Moving forward.
We're back. I mean, that was kind of like a short segment, but we kind of need we need more announcements because you know what else? Political candidates. I've made a list. I'm checking it twice. I'm gonna find out who's not here nice, and I'm coming for you, just like Santa Claus.
Uh-oh.
And we're gonna have some conversations. Gonna try to get everybody out there. I figured out your contact numbers. I know how you like emails sent to you. We gonna get it. We totally gonna get it. But look out.
Tracking you down.
Tracking you down.
Tracking you down.
Doing it. As far as local news in Maui, I mean, usual things are abound. But before we move on to that insanity, the Maui Ukraine benefit concert sold out, and they're still looking for help because it's still like crazy up there. We haven't really talked about Ukraine the past couple weeks. Not many people really have in America because, it's on ignore mode. We're actually ignoring this one more than most any other war we've had.
Yeah, what
years.
happened? Why do you think all of a sudden it's being ignored? Tell us, Kawika, why is this happening?
Because it's testing low in numbers. That's why.
Are you serious?
On the minutes by minutes. That's how it works. In news, they have what's called the minute by minutes. And so what happens is if you do not appeal on a minute by minute level, they stop talking about you. So, and that's
But a war?
because we're
But
not
a
required
war.
because the fairness doctrine is not required by law anymore. You do not have to report on a war if it's not good for ratings. So that's why they
I can't believe that.
report on the war. That's why, and that's why I feel bad for a while not reporting on the war. But at the same time, for those days that I chose not to report on it, was because we had other things to talk about locally, or we had some things to bring up that maybe not everybody was talking about. So we had to fairly give space to it. And then that's the other hard part. There's tons of content, but fair play to the fact it's a war. People are dying. So in order to be able to combat that, what do? A community comes together. So luckily, at least the people in Maui are nice enough to still be thinking about those in Ukraine that are getting carpet bombs, shot in the head, etc. And it's a terrible thing. I know. All starting on a Sunday morning, and we're thinking about this. Folks, I'm sorry, but that's the way that the world works. And sometimes we just have to face it.
Right? It's not last week. This ain't Easter Sunday.
No, this ain't Easter Sunday. But hey, we got really dark on Easter Sunday.
We did, didn't we?
We got super dark.
We've been getting dark
and
lately.
I saw the click rate on how many y'all listened. So we suckered you in with that hippity hoppity line, and then you were like, yeah, it's gonna be okay. But then I was straight with you in the the show description. I was like, we talk about sex trafficking on Easter, really? Yeah, we had to because it's not that anybody hit us up in the comment section, but I did get some interesting follows afterwards. So I felt that we did kind of strike a nerve.
Yeah, I guess it was effective.
It was effective. And you know what else is effective in Maui right now?
What's that?
Scams.
Oh, man.
Scam-a-llama ding-dong.
All the
Sarah.
scams be happening.
Sarah, I hear you're being scammed. Have you been scammed? Show me on the doll where they scammed you. Show me on the doll where they scammed you, Sarah.
Everywhere. I am not even joking. And I think it's right maybe before the pandemic is when it really started. And then it's just been bombarding me since, to a point where I have gotten scam trauma where I'm thinking I'm being scammed and I'm not being scammed. I'm making an asshole of myself, I'm accusing people of scamming me, and they're not scamming me. Yes, I know. I'm like, this website is a scam. This is unauthentic.
You grew up in the Midwest, so I grew up California, like San Diego, flim flammery. Orange County, oof. Hollywood, oof. So like, I think to a degree, especially since like I was lucky enough to be a bureaucrat's son and grow up on the internet 10 years earlier before most people. But like, I think sometimes when I see people, I'm like, don't do that. That's an internet fake trap. Don't do it.
Well,
Don't
that's just it. Now you're just like, I'm paranoid on the internet. If it's a site that I've never like ordered from, like I just did the other day, I ordered these clothes that were from like a really nice brand that I know, and they came in, and I was like, no. This is counterfeit bullshit. I was pissed. I'm like, I'm emailing them right now. They didn't just screw me over. This is a scam. So I ended up like making like a report on my PayPal, and I emailed them, and I emailed the clothing line. Come to find out, they do. They sell them in wholesale prices, and it is totally legit, and it was not counterfeit. But like, I really did, because it came too fast. It was too cheap. It didn't make sense. I was being scammed, you know?
No, but
because that's what you do. Like, that's what everything like that I have been scammed. That's what got me not scammed.
Tell me about the real scams then.
Okay, because I actually haven't gotten scammed. I've gotten close to being scammed. I've caught in the scams so many times that
we got some friends who have been scammed.
Oh, we got friends who have been scammed.
Yeah, but no, tell me about like what you almost noticed recently, because I've noticed that like Maui, Hawaii in general, like, I mean, there's some things where, like, I look at that and I go, wow, that's like circa 2003 internet cheap trick level shit. But
they're getting good.
But they're playing, like, that's a greatest hits. That's a Kids Bop album 2 thing. And we're, like, on Kids Bop 27 on the mainland. But, like, so, like, I mean, some of these scams I don't want to bring up because, like, I can also mention to you, like, how they're made. Like, I mean, that's the problem is, like, these are simple things that people are pulling.
Well, and it's true. It's like every single time I've almost had that little intuition, like, this don't seem right.
Like,
you know, but I go through it because I'm like, I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt. You know, maybe I'm being too paranoid. But then I get a few steps in, and I'm like, no, yeah, I should have just listened to myself.
But Sarah, I know a Nigerian prince who can help you get $10,000 if you send him 1,000 today.
Really? You know, but this happened a few years ago too, where I thought I was being catfished and it ended up being legit. So I don't know what's real. I don't know what's not. The internet is so confusing.
Well,
you're
not the only American with cognitive dissonance, but at least you've got it in an area where it's like it's common to have it. At least you don't like believe in things that aren't true. You just get tricked into things that aren't true.
But I haven't gotten tricked into things that are. I gotten almost tricked.
Almost.
But it's made me so paranoid. But that now I am thinking I am being tricked when I'm not being tricked.
That's right. You know, when you see a fake trap, you need to learn just to walk away.
Yeah.
Walk away. Be like, no, fairies, not today. You're not getting me. No, Nigerian prince. No, you're not kidding me.
Yeah, so the first one was actually a Craigslist ad, which is funny because it ended up being a blessing in disguise because it got me in the place now.
I have to stop you there for just a second. I will have to say, that is probably the most interesting nostalgia item for me when it comes to, like, I mean, yeah, Craigslist is still an effective, interesting tool, but I will have to say that, like on the California West Coast, like we're like that's so 2008.
But we are on Maui.
Yeah,
we're on Maui
because like if you check the California, like you can go to any portion of Craigslist from wherever you are in the world. Click on the California one, and it's a no man's land for fake. It's just scam territory.
See, and that's what it's turning into. It's like we're behind.
Yeah,
we're like a few
you guys
years
are still
behind.
Safe. It's still kind of like
no, we're not.
I know
it's turning.
It's turning.
It's getting evil on the Craigslist.
Maui Craigslist.
It could be saved if right now. By right now, us
listeners,
everybody, be aware of the Craigslist listings. Report the Craigslist listings. Tell your friends to report the Craigslist listings. Let's get them off so that we can actually, find a rental place on Craigslist that's legit. You know, because half of them are complete spam.
Tell me more about that, because you were telling me the other day.
Okay, yes. No, it's actually a crazy story. So this was like it was right after it was right before the pandemic, and I was looking for a place. And I wanted to stay in Haiku, and I just couldn't find a place. I couldn't find a place. Like, I literally could not find a place, like, anywhere near my price range. Like, it was ridiculous. So I was like, you know what? There's places in Kihei that I can afford, and I found this really great place. Condo on the beach. I was like, yeah, me and Coco are going to be, like, vacation living. So I go through, I apply for it. The paperwork looks legit. But then they're asking for me to wire them money. And right away, I'm like, no, I need to meet a person. It can't be doing things like through email and sending somebody just money. So I go to the bank, and that's the first thing. I'm like, can you check this out? They're wanting to. And she was like, yeah, I don't know if this is legit. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go down to the actual place and see if the listing matches the property manager. So, the whoever owns that property. So when I went up to the condo place and she looked up the owner of that specific condo, it did not match the name that the person was saying that owned it. So I realized that it was a scam, and she had said that other people had come in asking the same thing. So once I was aware of that, I started looking through Craigslist and realizing all of them were like almost the same post, just using different pictures and just like maneuvering like the lingo around a little bit, but they were all essentially basically a template, a scammer's template.
Moving forward.
Did you receive a call or message that mentioned Social Security and demanded immediate action? Did the caller know your Social Security number or other personal information and tell you that your Social Security number had been used in connection with a crime? Did you feel worried that your Social Security number might be suspended, your bank account might be frozen or seized, or you could be arrested? That is not the Social Security Administration. Social Security will not threaten you, demand your personal information, or instant payment, email or text you pictures or documents, or use a real government official's name to gain your trust. Social Security does not accept payments by gift card, prepaid debit card, internet currency, or by mailing cash. Criminals use these forms of payment because they're hard to trace. Don't be fooled. Hang up. Ignore them. Report this criminal activity to the Social Security Administration Office of the Inspector General at oig.ssa.gov.
Moving forward.
I guess it'll have to do. We have returned. We have returned from a break, a short break, or was it a long break? We don't know. No one will ever know. Through the magic of editing, the people at home will never know, Sarah.
They'll never know. Do you remember that like meme? They'll never know.
They'll never know.
They'll never know.
You're going to die in Dale. No, wait, that got dark fast. That was like the first and last episode of American Horror Story I ever saw. Not really much of a, I don't know. Everybody got into it. It seems pretty cool. But whatever. Anyways, moving along. Speaking of bodies buried and skeletons in closets, Kamala Harris and Joe Biden have released their taxes, and it turns out there are none. So I mean, I don't say in the sense of taxes. I mean that there's no skeletons or bodies hidden in their taxes because they actually, Kamala overpaid her taxes this year.
Oh, look at that. She even overpays.
Well, I mean, for those of you who understand how big business works, she was actually doing a really good job by overpaying her taxes because of all the way that her businesses work. So she's kind of securing it's a back end security by doing her taxes the way that she does. And then
she's a woman on a plan.
Yeah, no, she is a woman on a plan. And then Uncle Joe, he kind of just he's like a set it and forget it. He's one of those guys that I'm going to claim 5 and then that's it. And he's just been claiming 5 for life or whatever. And then his wife probably is listed as the breadwinner. I mean, Dr. Joe Biden's got his shit together. So, I mean, I got to say whether voting for them or not, at least this horse was capable of running the country, whether you believe it or not. As a great man would say to me, believe it or don't, So, yeah, I mean, from the who's whoville of we don't pay attention to politics. Sarah, I'd like to know on a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you care about knowing that your president pays their taxes?
0.
0? But that's fiduciary responsibility. If you pay your taxes and then you're in charge of 400 million people, doesn't that show that you have a level of responsibility to take care of 400 people if you can take care of that shit?
Well, absolutely, yeah. But I guess for me,
For you.
For
Okay.
me.
This goes into DGAF category. All right. Well, you know what,
I'm
Hawaii?
like,
We're going to
okay.
figure out what you DGAF and you do gaff. Okay. So, like, man. No, but you know what? That's you're my canary in the who cares line.
Yeah.
Of you know, mining. I guess that's what
I
it is.
think it's kind of cool of our dynamic. You're so like, yeah, political. And I'm so like, I don't know what's going on. And I don't care to know.
There's a man who comes on my TV and says to vote for him.
Yeah, so I turn it off.
We all do, though. I mean, we kind of turned it off more these past
Yeah,
couple
I mean, I
years.
do respect people that are, because we do need people like you that actually care and want to.
And we need people like you to remind me to, like, cool it every once in a while and go, look, like, the fight's still going to be there tomorrow. Just take a Sunday off and just, how about we just bitch about it so that way you don't go out there and fight it all the time? Because you might not come back next time. Give yourself an aneurysm and just collapse in front of Crafty. Like,
Right?
tried
I'm
to
like, you're going to
explain
give yourself a
economics.
heart attack. You're getting so mad.
I'm not.
I mean, I can see why.
Yeah,
You're
no.
passionate about it,
Yeah.
which is fantastic. We need people that are passionate about it, because there's a lot of people like me that are just doing, that just aren't passionate about it.
But that's, you know, to say to a certain degree. it's
Everybody
like,
has their battles, and this is your
Exactly.
battle. This is
Yeah.
yours.
You know,
You go fight your battle, Kawika.
That's right.
I'm going to go fight mine, the hair debacle.
Yeah. Oh
I'm
my
going to go
God.
for Diva Curl. You go for the government.
Take 'em down.
I'm
Get 'em at
taking
the
for
neck, girl.
Diva Curl.
Yeah. No.
Mm-hmm.
Hashtag cancel Diva Girl.
Cancel.
Talking about cancelable things. So police, I guess, are now getting wise to the way that like DMCA takedowns work for like live and streamed videos, and they're now like they now think they're geniuses, and they're playing like Disney on Spotify. So then that way, like they're like, I'm gonna have to see your license registration and probably put a bullet in your chest, please. But let it go, let it go. And then
So out genius them. Let
Well-
us know how we can out genius them so they can't. So we can still be able to catch them doing
stream
some
unlisted,
naughty things.
stream to Reddit, stream to a private platform. And that's the thing, stream to a platform that's not going to give you a DMCA takedown. Like, I mean, you can pay for software to take it out too. You don't even have to pay for software. Like, there is an Audacity hack that you can use. Audacity is a free program that you could use. I pretty much use that to like edit most of the core components for the show and do all the other fun stuff and like more high-techy things. But anyways, I'm not gonna like oversaturate your brain with extra components to this equation, but like you could essentially like take a YouTube tutorial, get Audacity, and then you can isolate the audio in a track. And in a lot of cases, like if you're smart about it, because like the depth of the sound coming from the car versus like the depth of the sound coming from your phone and how well phones pick up now, because these guys don't realize that like you can now record on a 32-bit float on your iPhone. So like you can record raw wave data and then make these suckers pay later, because you can actually like use the same tricks that like Twitch TV uses to cut music out of your feed, so that way you're still talking afterwards when they do the repost. And that's the other thing, is like you could be backing up to the cloud, so you could shoot straight to your like every time that you shoot a video, it goes straight to your Google Photos. So by the time that he's got his knee on your neck and he's got you down on the ground, guess what? It's in the cloud, motherfucker. Like, and that's the way you should do it. Like, you should be looking about all the way. It's not about whether or not you got it onto the internet immediately. It's the fact that you have the evidence.
Yes.
Because that's like, and then the thing is like, think about this. You really want to like bureaucratically beat these assholes into place, is if you release it immediately, it goes to the court of public opinion. And then the court of public opinion makes a decision, and then it leaks into the news. It leaks into the news, and everybody who could potentially be a juror is now tainted. So how does, yeah.
So it makes way more sense to hold on
you
to
to
that.
hold on to the
Hold
videos.
on to it. Don't
Why
just
do you
post
think-
it right away.
Why do you think the cop cams, they hide the cop cams immediately, and you have to wait 3 years after deposition before the state releases the body cam footage? Because they want the most time to sit on the footage, whether they're right or they're wrong, to be able to look at the footage and be able to manipulate the conversation based on the best way possible. I know how cop communities work, okay? So you need a rep that sits there and is like, well, does it look like a clean shoot? Cool. How can we make him look like a criminal then? You know, and then if it's not a clean
Dude,
shoot,
that totally makes sense. Yes.
hold on to your evidence. Evidence provides
Oh
clarity.
no, I shouldn't have made my YouTube video of Diva Curl.
But see, there's nothing wrong with like what you're doing with Diva Curl. Like you want to do things like that. You want to start a conversation because like
Just
a corporate
bring attention to
yes,
it.
a corporate takedown, that's whistleblowing.
Okay.
But like when you're like fighting on the street and it's gonna have to go in front of a high court and Supreme Court justices are gonna get involved and internal affairs bureaus are gonna have their day in court and all of these intergovernmental like you have to play ball the way they do if you want to win. Because you're on their court.
Yeah.
You don't show up at somebody's basketball court and then tell them your house rules. You don't go over to your friend's house to play Monopoly at 2 a.m. in the morning and stay up till 7 a.m. going, but in my house, we give $700 away when we pass go. It's like, no, that's not how it works. So the thing that you have to watch out for is like, okay, what's a court going to want? It's really cool that everybody knows what happened to you. If that's really what you're worried about with safety, put that on the cloud. Save that on a private server. Create a Vimeo account just for your family to upload in this the event. Like make it, and then that's the thing is you can change your settings to make it like every time you add a video to your phone, drops to the cloud. Make it go somewhere. Have a next of kin line on your digital materials. Like I mean, if you have the ability to assign a best friend to take over your Facebook account when you die, which like I mean, have you set that up?
No.
Your in memoriam person. Who's your in memoriam person on Facebook?
Well, nobody.
Exactly. That's a feature on Facebook that they created back at the beginning. So when you see friends who are dead and then there's actually postings on their account, it's because they were smart enough to essentially set up their last will and testament of social media. My sister gets control of my Facebook if I die.
Whoa.
Exactly. So in that same case, you want to make sure that like you can hide private videos on your Facebook. You can put private videos on your YouTube. You can put private videos on your Vimeo. And then that way, the cop goes, yeah, what are you going to do about it? DMC takeout. Cool, but a DMCA notice doesn't work in a courtroom. So keep recording, kids.
Keep recording.
That's the thing.
Kids.
It's like if they don't want you to record live, cool, save that shit for later.
Yep.
Upload it to the cloud because your cloud's not going to give you a DMCA takedown. It's not going to tell you, oops, you can't record that here. It's going to be like, bro, cool, keep uploading it. You still have 15 gigs remaining on Google Drive. Like, just keep uploading. You know? So, like, I think that, like, if you really want to win against bad cops, if you really want to show good cops that we're cheering for them, and then you, like, want to respect the justice system too, is if you go out into the court of public opinion with those videos, you're just adding to the hyperbole that every cop is a bad cop, but then you're also adding to the conversation that no juror will ever be able to make a well-formed opinion because they already saw it. And then that's the other reason why we have a chain of custody. Things that I learned working in a government setting and with bureaucrat parents and police parents and judge uncles and like all that stuff is like you look at the reason why they do that is like you're not tainting the court of public opinion. You're creating an opportunity for everything to be scrutinized and criticized correctly. Because if we throw it out to the dregs of society to see first, that's where like I love the conversation that being able to like catch these guys as they shoot a kid in the back of the head in the middle of the street in cold blood. Because, I mean, that happened in the past couple weeks. And that's the craziest part. And that's something I've been doomsaying since the closing of the pandemic era, like right before we went endemic, is like, how long until school shootings come back? How long until cop shootings come back?
Yeah.
How long until, like, I mean, we're already catching up with those numbers that we left behind in 2019. And we thought, like, oh, for once, like, our kids aren't going to die. We don't have to worry about taking the cops to court. And it's like, well, dude, we just spent 2 years in a closet. And now we all came out and we're all itching for a fight.
Yep.
So, like, everybody's going to be twice as nasty to each other. So that means you have to be twice as smarter to win. And if you want to win, like, it's cool that, like, you have the balls to put it up online. But if you have the smarts to turn it into evidence, make it state's evidence before it makes you famous.
Be
Because
smart,
you
people.
don't want to be, like, because no matter what, if they shoot you, like, what are you going to be insta-famous for? Being dead. And then everybody's going to tell a story that you won't be there to tell.
Yeah.
So then I mean, look at what happened to Breonna Taylor.
Yeah.
You know? Her name gets, like, dragged through the mud so much. And it's crazy because, like, that's the bias that we have against people of color in this country. Is that her burial photo was her in a civil servant uniform, and they still talk shit about her. It was, like, the first black person you could see in, like, a uniform, and we found a way to disrespect a uniform. And we're finding ways to disrespect people of all shapes and sizes just to fit our own paradigm now of, like, the new, like, crap post-pandemic world we're living in, you know? So, I mean, if we're going to fight that to a degree, like, we have to be able to be kind enough to ourselves to breathe and then stop recognize what we can do to make this beneficial to us, make that person learn a lesson, and then take society with both yourself and the lesson that they learn. Because I mean, like, think of like all the things recently that have been in the court system and in the public eye. How many cops have recently been let go? How many cops, though, have served time? And then the crazy part is, like, you take the ones that obviously, like, cold blood shot someone and you have to send them to jail. But then how many guys got away with running around a corner or turning on some Disney music? And because of that, there's no clarity. All you have is that 10 seconds that went on the internet. And then because of the stigmas that come with being a victim in America, judges will then turn to you and go, well, then obviously you had time to run because you had time to Instagram it.
Yeah.
If you Instagram, you know, it's the same adage they give a rape victim. Well, why were you dressed in a cocktail dress?
Yeah, exactly.
It has the words cock and tail in it. Of course you were going to give it up. And it's like, wait a minute, judge. You're literally here to, like, prosecute this guy, but then you're going to victim shame. And then that's what happens to people of color who get held up by the cops. Because that's what it is. It's a hold up.
Victim shame, yeah.
Because then you can't run. If you run from the cops, it's resisting arrest. Even if they don't search you, they now have the excuse of running anyways. Even though that, like, no cop can unlawfully detain you. And that's why you should always ask the second that they pull you over, go, am I being detained? Cool, no, bye, deuces. You have the right to say that.
Really?
Yes.
Am I being detained?
Am I being detained? Unless you know that your tail light is out, unless you know that you was speeding, if you did something wrong, be like, sorry, officer, how fast are we going? Okay, I like pay the bill, I see you in court, bye. All right?
But if you weren't doing anything, you get pulled over, that's all you have to say?
Am I being detained? And then they'll go, no, you're not, but I'd love to see your license and registration. And then that's when you play nice with them. Because then they're aware that you're aware, and then you do the pomp and circumstance, and then you give them your ID.
And you just
and
do
then you
the
give
motions.
You do the motions. You complete the motions,
All
and
right.
you give
Am
them
I being
respect.
distant? Be cool with the motions.
Yep.
Okay.
And then you talk story, and that's where you win is disarming them. You have somewhere between 2 to 5 minutes between the time they pull their gun or they pull their citation book. And it all depends on how you engage with them. And that's something that I learned from growing up around cops and bureaucrats. It's all about how you talk on their level.
Right.
So you'd be like, hey, officer, am I being detained? Oh, no, you was speeding, bro. Oh, okay. How fast was I going? It's like 7 miles. Oh, sorry, I'm late for work. And be like, bro, don't go so fast. I'm going to write you one ticket for 4 miles over because that's the difference between one $200 ticket and one $800 ticket. You have a nice day. And then you go. And you pay your $200 and you go. But then if you get one cop who's going to be like, hey, I'm going to pull you over. For what? This taillight seems to be out. And then they just pull the whole, like, reason that, like, quarter cop shit.
Yeah.
They're pulling you over because their sight book's not full enough that month, and the records keeper is like, hey, you're not pulling nobody over. And then their captain's like, yeah, you're not pulling anybody over. We're not making no tax money, bro. And then they're like, shoot, I guess I got to go pull some people over.
So that's actually real. Like, I've always thought that.
Quota policing is a very real problem in America, and it's been going on for 100 years.
And that is something that a lot of people don't know if it's actually real or not.
Yes, quota policing is a huge thing. It's uncovered regularly in communities. It's brought up to attention. It's a crony form of policing. And so what happens is, like, stay out of Carlsbad. Carlsbad, California, dude, you go down the Sunset Strip, down PCH in Carlsbad, and you're driving more than 45, you drive 46. Whoop, whoop.
Really?
Done.
They're just waiting for any little thing.
Done.
Huh?
And because it's a town where, like, crime really doesn't happen except on Tuesdays if enough drunk people are in town. Like, so then, like, they're looking for something because they're cops. These cops are encouraged by their chiefs and their captains to go do something.
Yeah.
And then they're encouraged by their mayors to create revenue. So then it chatters in both ears, and the next thing you know it, they have this unhealthy way of policing because they're answering to a bureaucracy that's not responding to the social needs of the community. That's why we don't have beat cops anymore.
That's what makes a corrupt cop, basically, then,
Yes,
huh?
the system makes them corrupt.
The system makes them corrupt.
The system is built
Holy
to corrupt
shit.
them. Yes, and that's why I have respect for good cops, because it takes a lot to be a good cop these days. It takes way more than most people know.
It's way easier to be a bad
so
cop because
easy
they
to be a
really
bad
set
cop.
them up to fail.
They do. They do. The system was never designed for them to be a psychologist. And now you have all these cops coming out with bachelors in psychology, in criminology, in anthropology. So you have woke people riding desks, and they're not sent out to the street. And then you have CSOs, like community officers. And so, like, depending on, like, whatever the acronym is for them. But anyways, community officers are, like, usually, like, the white shirt or the blue shirt cops. They're not in the black on black,
Right,
or
yeah.
the green on gold type of sheriff type of look.
Yep.
They're usually in blue or white tops, and those guys, they don't carry a real badge. Yes, they carry a little bit of authority. They might be able to write you a citation, but it's usually two kupunas who got their Thursdays free because they pick up their grandkid on Thursdays, so they go around play police officer. So they go 5-0 responding, and they go, oh hi auntie, I got one cat stuck in the tree, and then that's what they do. They fill that void.
Yeah.
But then you have day-to-day officers that aren't beat cops anymore. So you have Uncle and Tutu riding around as Butch and Sundance, and they'd like spreading the joy, but you don't have the 25-year-old lateral cop that just got out of training who probably just spent 6 years in Fallujah embedded, and all he knows is gun in hand.
Right.
And then that's the problem, is not many people know this policy. The United States Marine Corps for like the past decade has taught the gun in hand policy. You know what gun in hand means? If your hand is empty, it could have a gun in it.
Yeah.
Which means I can shoot you. This is why the United States military has killed hundreds of children in the Middle East. Because if their hands are empty, one day ISIS or Daesh could put a gun in it. So you better kill that 6-year-old now. And then they come home from war and they have this mentality.
And oh my God.
Why do you think a 28-year-old boy who gets a badge shoots a 19-year-old black dude on a street in Louisiana? Because he was just told for 10 years that people of color in another country have no value because they will grow up to become terrorists.
We're literally causing the problem.
Yes.
We are, oh my God.
This is why, as a Republican, I'm abhorrently against war. And because it's
they come back and then they end up.
This is how PTSD is made.
Yeah.
This is how abuser PTSD is born, because you're not just creating a PTSD victim, you're creating a PTSD aggressor, because now he's been in the thick of it. We sent them to a country that says you can shoot anything you want because they will shoot you.
Right.
And you don't know what's the truth.
Exactly. So
You
they've
just
been in
know
a
what you've
state
been
for
told.
years and years. Just shoot. You're going to die. You
Exactly.
shoot. And then they come back here and have to live a normal life. How could you live a normal life after years and years being told,
can't.
shoot, you're going to die. Shoot, you're going to die. What?
So then you get. Why do you think all of the most metropolitan police stations no longer hire veterans?
Right, because they all have some kind of PTSD.
But the Midwest is filled with veteran police officers. Why? All the places where there's shootings, look at the background. It's probably a guy who was. Yes.
They're all
They
vets.
put an AR-15 or a service pistol in his hand, sent him out into the desert as a PFC, and he came back a killer. And they celebrated it for years. Hoorah, every time. Counting them.
I mean, anybody, that's just it. Yeah, anybody would turn into that.
And because you get a hero complex,
anybody would turn into that.
You get a hero complex for 6 years on the road serving Uncle Sam, and then when you come home, you get told by your adoring public, they're not an adoring public, that they think you're a baby killer, because you are. Because literally, like, there a secret handshake chance that you can say to get you on a military base. You know that?
Wait, what?
I'm not going to say what they are right now, because knowing them, that unit would probably come out to me. But there are phrases that involve like killing babies, raping children, all that kind of shit that you can say to get a secret pass to go, because they know that you grew up in that barracks, because they know that you went to that war and you killed that rebel scum. Yeah. And that's how they pass it around. It's a badge of pride. It's a fraternity.
No wonder you run around pissed off about the government. Damn, dude.
Because I know where all the bodies are buried, because I worked in that shit.
You're realizing you guys are attacking people, but like you literally made them attackers.
Yes, this is the actual scene of what's going on. And then the crazy part is we defunded the VA. You go to the VA website, it leads to pages to nowhere. You want to go, it's even worse for women. Because then what happens to women cops that shoot people? They get their badge taken away. Mm-hmm. They get their gun taken away, and then they get sent to a loony bin because they didn't know any better. They was hormonal. But then if a guy shoots a young man, they either go straight to jail with a noose or they get a ticker tape parade. And then there's no setup for the woman, because then here's the crazy part is how many women have we been sneaking into combat for the past 10 years that have a sidearm and then end up in engagement anyways, and then we deny that it exists because on paper we said as a society we wouldn't send women to war. So then you can't give PTSD benefits to a woman who had to watch someone get shot in front of her because by the letter of the law she wasn't there. So if you go to that section of the VA,
there's literally no help for
there's
a
no
woman.
help because you don't exist. Because they say there are no women in combat, but there were.
But there
women
are.
Yes. What do you think happens to? Okay, so then a woman gets recruited as a motor lead. Mm-hmm. That's the motorcade. Like, you're gonna move with the trucks. The trucks move with the bombs.
Right.
You're gonna get a sidearm.
You're going to.
Roadside IED blast comes. Insurgents come out. Are you gonna pull your own gun, or are you gonna go stand behind the man who's now dead, bleeding on the ground?
Exactly.
You're gonna go engage in combat. You're now in PTSD.
Yeah.
And then you go to the VA website 2 years after you come home because somebody says, "Oh, go check the VA."
And
you
you
go to the
realize,
website,
wait, I don't qualify because I
no,
wasn't
you get to a
there.
page and it says 404, page not found. That's half of the VA section for women. Is a page not found.
Page not found.
Yeah.
What a slap in the
404.
goddamn face.
HTTPS 404 error. We're sorry, this URL or page is not found. Please contact the web administrator. And then you call the VA and you go, hey, where's the women's benefits section? Not there. Nobody calls you back. Nobody calls you back. We create broken soldiers and then we make them cops and then they shoot our children and then we hang our other child that shot our child. And that's the thing. We're creating warriors on the streets and we're sending warriors abroad and then we're making them fight for our pleasure in freaking like Coliseum Pleasure Dome known as the United States of America.
All right, I'm starting to. Okay. I'm starting
This
to.
is
Okay, this is why you get so riled up. I'm starting to put two and two together. It's all making sense now.
This,
Damn,
children, is a good
Kawika.
reason to smoke a lot of weed right here.
Damn, right? Seriously, let's wrap this section up and go to something light then. 'Cause,
Okay.
man, now I'm mad.
No, well, you
Now
know
I'm
what?
getting all fired
But now
up.
that you're
Maybe
fired up,
this is my battle too.
This is.
Maybe I want to join you on this fight now. Ooh,
Well, then if you don't want to
man.
join me on that one, like, at least join me on this one because apparently it turns out that, like, we're now shaming 8-year-olds for stealing bags of chips. And then, like, America's at such a point to where they're like, serves him right, it'll teach him a lesson, he'll never become a thief. So I don't know if you guys heard it. Recently there was this kid in New York City, I guess, and he stole a bag of chips. And then they put him in the back of a squad car, and everybody made a scene out of him. And then the kid got a complex about it, and I'm sure in like 4 more years he's probably gonna end up in a weird place in his life because everybody went, "Look at you! You stole a bag of chips."
Oh, this poor kid.
I'm
He's
so-
gonna be like, I'm not, have no worth. I should not eat. Nobody is feeding me. Exactly. He's gonna 5 years later gonna have some kind of complex.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we're like,
That's like psychologically screwing somebody up. They just screwed up this little kid.
yeah, well, and especially since
And
like,
he was just hungry.
yeah, he's hungry, and even if he wasn't hungry, why are we getting bent out of shape for a $1.69 bag of chips?
Yes.
Even if it was a $40 bag of chips or a $100 bag
Right.
of
They
chips.
should
because
be
of
just,
inflation.
hey guys, there's hungry kids that are in a state that they're stealing chips.
Absolutely.
So let's fix this rather than criminalize him for it.
Yep.
Oh, that's messed up.
But then the court of public opinion, because then this ends up on the news because it's yellow news, and then the
Yep.
news goes, and then that's the only reason why I'm discussing it now is because I hated the discussion that came around with it.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the people, like whether I was reading this article, because what I'll do is like you can get the same article from multiple sources
and see how it's being taken
yeah,
on.
so like I'll see how people respond to this on like NBC San Diego versus CBS Chicago versus whoever posts it in a different locale.
Right.
So then it's like people in San Diego by and large are like serves that kid right. People in New York are like, oh, por mijo, but you know what, he should have just paid for it. And you know, and then people in the Midwest are like, hang him high. And that's it. And like I just like you
I'm
scoot
so
through this-
yeah. Like, how
Yeah.
did we get to this point? Well, let's say we're all desensitized.
We
Everyone
are.
is desensitized,
So
and
now-
that's like normal to be like, oh my gosh, a 7-year-old stole. Criminal, and not to just naturally be like,
Canceled.
that is a child
That kid is canceled now.
that is hungry.
Yeah.
In our country, why?
in a country where we throw away 70% of our food.
we
So
throw away food and we let children starve. And
1 in 7. Last time I checked before pandemic, the number they had was 1 in 7 go hungry, and it's higher in some states, but that's the average. If you're in a room right now with 10 children, at least 1.5 of them right now
is hungry.
Yep, well, one of those cakeys is hungry easily, and we throw away 70% of food. I mean, that's why like it was a big thing for me in
This is
California that like
disgusting.
in some of our school districts on the mainland, we give away food.
Yeah.
So then that way none of the kids have to sign up for, you know.
Yeah, that should be like a state overall, like schools. I mean, we're paying taxes, right? For
Yeah,
schools.
you are.
Shouldn't
but
some of that money go towards?
it should, but it doesn't because the weird part is, it's like, why do you think the lottery was made?
Why was the lottery made? I have no idea.
Oh, you don't-
Tell us, Kawika.
Wait,
How
so wait,
was
I'm
the
sorry.
lottery made?
The lottery is actually a response to creating funding for education. Every time
What?
every time you buy a lottery ticket, it's supposed to go towards your schools.
Are you serious?
Yes. It was a two-pronged approach by the American government and small corporations to overtake Black Wall Street and to homogenize some form of gambling as an upset maneuver in the economy.
This is interesting.
So your taxes to your schools get less and less every year, and they keep using the excuse of, well, we made
lotteries.
We made $42 million in lottery money this year. And it works for states like California.
Yeah.
Because you have a lot of people with disposable income out there.
Gotcha.
So then you have people who'll be like, oh, yeah. There's always an uncle I walk into behind the bodega. He's like, I peek the same numbers every time. I'll be like, do it, uncle, whatever. You become rich, cool. But, you literally have a better chance about being bit by a shark twice in your life than you do of winning the lottery. So, I mean, and then that's the thing is then, like, to some degree of me, I'm like, if I was at least paying $5 a day in a lotto, maybe it would like go to better education. But it doesn't. It's not always guaranteed because what happens is that money gets trapped in a bond. And then that pays off what we delegate as voters and as sometimes as like Senate and committee members. So the money doesn't always get allocated directly from the lottery. Because if the millions of dollars we spent on lottery tickets was actually going to our schools, we would have geniuses living on the moon right now.
This is true.
We'd be back. We'd be living episode 1 of this show every day.
Damn, Kawika, I feel so woke right now.
That's not woke. That's just the sleep we taken off your eyes. we haven't gotten to the woke
I took
part
the
yet.
sleeper off, and I'm finally see.
We just cleaning the makapia
How does
right
that
out of your
song
eyes.
go? I was blind, and now I can see. How does that song go? Once was blind.
No, we haven't even gotten to the hymnal and hold hands phase yet. There's more of that to come. But like seriously, like I mean that's where we sit at right now is that we're shaming the poor again.
Yep.
And this is the end of the 80s. We're doing that bootstrap thing where we go, you're not working hard enough, and everybody's competing to say I work harder than you. It's like, guys, I'm gonna tell you right now, if you work more than 30 hours a week, you're doing it wrong. If you work more than 60 hours a week, you're definitely doing it wrong. And if you turn to people on Instagram and go, I work 120 hours a week and you're a lazy bastard, it's like, bro, if that's how you grind to get $100,000,
You ain't grinding right.
You'll never become a millionaire,
You ain't
bro.
grinding right then.
Your time is worth more than you think.
Yeah.
So, like, charge inflation rates. Charge enough to make for a family. Charge for the fact that you can't get interest on a bank account. So unless you got $25,000 lying around, get yourself a money market, keep that shit in a mayonnaise jar and put equity in your family. But that's what we're fighting. And then we fight this stigma, like people turn around and go, well, there's bank accounts, and then there's credit, and there's all these jobs out here, but then people don't know how to get the good jobs.
Yeah.
You know, so then everybody's like, why am I stuck with this like $5 an hour job as a contract worker and I can't get nothing? And it's like, bro, because like maybe if you just go like work at a construction company. And it's not like, I'm not saying like I'm shaming people to go work construction, because you know what? I'm an entertainer. So like, how do I find my work as an office guy? How do I like get in, you know, when I'm not just like on the mic, it's how do I make it to where I'm still in the industry, but like I'm in the office or I'm applying a practical situation. So I think that's another thing for like preventing things like this kid from happening is like something we may need to look into is like larger resource systems for communicating like how to rise up in an economy that won't let you.
Well, yeah. People
Like-
don't know how to do that.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think that kind of like, that needs to be a theme of a whole season.
I know, it
It's just
really should be a theme
how to
of a
rise,
whole
like,
season.
We're kind of creating a catalog of seasons. They're going to be seasons for, we're going to do more seasons than Rick and Morty, and they'll be on time. Yep. They'll be on time.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, you know, I think that's a heavy enough thing to talk about for now. I think we're going to have to button on it and then maybe have some public discussions. I mean, especially now that I'm in town, I think I'm just going to like flit around the city and see what people think. Maybe some people want to get on the mic about it and we'll see.
Right?
But,
Reach out to us, guys.
Yeah,
He's here for
absolutely.
another week and a half. So
Yeah, but like, and even then, I'll come back immediately. Like, that's
Yeah.
the thing is everything's rolling now. Everything is kicking into high gear. Like, it's about time for me to full time be back on Maui.
It sure
so,
is.
Like,
Yeah.
Don't expect this to be the last time I come home. They expect this to be the first of like many times until like I be sitting on both sides of the shore, making sure I can touch San Diego and touch Maui at the same time. But yeah. I think it's really rough the way that we're treating the poor, and then the way that we're bootstrapping people who obviously have the ability to get up there, but nobody's telling them. And I think that's the worst part is like everybody treats it like it's
Because the people that have the knowledge are greedy and want to keep those
It's
secrets.
gatekeeping.
Yeah, they want to keep those secrets all to themselves, you know? And I think that we just need more people that are like, hey, guys, I got the knowledge and I really want to share it with everybody
'Cause
because it's working.
Yes,
And
'cause-
I'm doing it. And here's an example of how it's working. Here's the breakdown. Everybody, here's the formula. Boom. And then we all get on the board.
Yes. And I think that's a huge part that we really need to think about is like how can we positively spread Manawa to other people? Like if you talk shit to someone long enough, they're only gonna think they're shit.
Yep.
You know? So if you see people that are struggling and all they need is one little iota of you just not even your time. You just go, hey brah, I know this place. Like here's $5. Go get one shave and we'll get you one job. You know? And that's really where we need to be at right now. We need to stop turning around and going like, oh, I got a pile of free food and there's some kittens on the beach. Have a nice day, guys. Bye. And then next week you'd be like, fucking homeless people. You know? It's like, dude, stop it. You can't. You got to look out for them.
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly.
I think that's like the biggest thing to be preaching. I think that's why like I chose Sundays. So that way we can just preach about helping people.
Yeah, preach it, Kawika. Preach it.
But we're going to preach some more after a little PSA here. We'll be back in a moment. Mahalo.
Moving forward.
The American Foundation for Suicide Prevention reminds you to take care of your mental health in the face of uncertainty. 1, focus on what is in your control versus what is not. 2, do what helps you feel a sense of safety. 3, remind yourself to stay in the present. 4, stay connected with others. You can reach the crisis text line by texting TALK to 741-741 or call the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline at 1-800-273-TALK. We're in this together, and help is always available.
Moving forward.
So it may not come as a surprise to some, but I think others that I don't know. Some people don't like pay attention to like the economics of like the entertainment industry and like where bubbles occur. And I mean we're shifting a lot here compared to like where we were before we took our break. But man, has anybody been watching what's going on with Netflix? I mean, are you a Netflix subscriber?
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
I love me some Netflix.
Do you share your Netflix password or have you shared someone else's Netflix password?
Absolutely. I think there's like 4 other people on my Netflix.
Shh, don't tell Netflix because they're going to kick you or they're going to charge you more now.
No.
That's why everybody's leaving.
Oh, what?
Yeah, well, that and
But
because...
that's the whole point. That was so great about Netflix. That was the point of why we loved Netflix, was because you can watch it on multiple devices and you all could share the password.
No, the end user license agreement has always said do not share the password.
Does it really say that?
Yes, but nobody reads an end user license agreement.
Yeah.
That's really what the Riddler in the Batman should have been saying. Which actually, you know what? I finally watched the Batman. We'll talk about that more in a little bit. But
because it almost becomes family, you know? Because even if you're not in the same household, it's like, oh, it's the family's Netflix. You know?
Yeah, but there's a reason why Spotify out the gate created the family plan that says you can stream outside of your house. So then that way you can have a kid at college and you're paying that premium for the kid at college.
Right.
But
Netflix doesn't have a family plan?
No, Netflix has you can have 5 people on the account, but they all better be under the same roof or with maybe one kid off at UC or something.
Right.
Yeah. So then,
well, that ain't happening.
Well, the crazy part is their viewership went up way higher than it should have because of the pandemic.
Yes.
Because you had people who don't normally even stream shit. Day 100 of the pandemic, your A-type personalities just become D-type personalities, and they're eating ice cream. They're eating macaroni and cheese flavored ice cream from their local like Whole Foods, and they're watching Scrubs for the 100th time.
Yeah.
We broke part of like the. I guess the best way to say it is like we broke the social structure, and in breaking the social structure, we affected part of the economy. So you had like hundreds of thousands of people who onboarded streaming platforms, and then the second they're told you can't share this, they're like, but we were doing the whole pandemic. Yeah, but now we can charge you a fine because it was actually a violation of the end user license.
Yeah,
agreement.
it wasn't that noticeable before, but now we really notice it, and it's kind of pissing us off. So we now want to charge you for it.
Yes, and because they're losing so much money so fast, they now want to put ads on Netflix.
That's the whole point, is why you want to watch Netflix with all the ads, that we just might as well watch TV. Then we might as well watch TV.
See, I knew I could make you angry about something.
Yeah.
There we go.
That's my battle.
That's your thing.
That's my thing.
We're going to cancel Diva Crow, feed some kids, and stop Netflix from being assholes. We found it. We found it, kids.
Yeah, those are my battles.
Yeah,
That's what really makes me mad. That's what grind my gears.
you know, it really grinds my gears.
It's my grind my gears.
But so yeah, so I mean, we now have a lot of people. Like, I mean, this last quarter they saw like almost 250,000 people jumped off of the platform. You're going to see more leaving because everybody's starting to go back to work. So even though the Great Resignation is still occurring to a degree, even though we're still coming out of inflation pocket, we're about to hit a recession. Which, keep that in mind, folks. I'm telling you these climate things right now because these are regular cycles in economic history. Okay, these are things that are regularly going to happen. Everybody's like, oh yeah, but the price of gas is going down right now. No, the perceived price of gas is going down right now because we're not covering the war. If you stop covering the war, then Wall Street will stop paying attention to the war. If Wall Street stops paying attention to the war, futures don't go up and down at crazy numbers every day. That's half the reason why we guarded from the public eye. That's why we didn't talk about Ukraine so much lately. That's why the world doesn't, because if America starts sweating about things it can't fix, its economy goes into turmoil. This is an intangible, this is what we were talking about earlier in the car, was this intangible effect of weird things that happen, whether it's handshakes, hellos, a scorned lover, a jealous community. Like, those things actually affect your economy in tangible ways.
Yeah.
So it's vibes. Vibes actually, like, I'm a scientific guy, but I can tell you there's an electricity in the economy that is reliant upon the intangible actions of us as a social dynamic. So it's how we treat the poor, it's how we tax the rich, it's how we, you know, compete in Wall Street, it's how we talk about things on the news. So if you don't talk about it, people put their blinders on.
Yep.
And then they think everything's good. That's why, like, once Trump got in office, how many people stopped turning on TV? They're like, I got my president in. He promised.
Right,
it.
exactly. I got what I wanted. All right, off with my life. Tra-la-di-da.
And there's something I can tell you. Like, the biggest thing that I watch for why I read news in 5 different time zones these days in America. Because one, if you really want to keep up with your fellow American, you should see how the same article, like I said it earlier, it's like you can get the same article from AP or Reuters redistributed to like NBC, CBS, Fox. They're all reporting the same thing that came from an embedded journalist half a country away or half a world away, and they are then just regurgitating it with their narrative. So then it's like, read the CBS Chicago version, read the NBC LA version, read the Fox Atlanta version, and then go back and read the original, and you can go, oh, this is where the hyperbole started. Because like you read the AP Reuters one, and it's just, today in Bangladesh, man died. And then on Fox, it's, today, terrorist dies. And then on NBC, it's, today, Bangladesh, somebody died. And
They're just confusing the hell out of all of us.
Because
See, and that's why I am so not into politics to begin with. That was why, because I didn't know what to believe.
You're conditioned by ratings to believe what they want you to
Exactly.
believe.
So it was almost like, why am I going to put so much energy into a bunch of lies? But now that you're kind of explaining
But it's
it
not
to me,
necessarily lies, and that's a
it
problem.
isn't.
That people,
It's all about their perspective,
It's
you know?
omission.
So it's very confusing as somebody just watching that doesn't know the back end of how everything works, and just hearing it, it's like, it's too confusing because everybody has so many sides, and it all kind of, when you hear it, it makes sense from every single source. So how are you supposed to decipher which one is the lie, right? It makes people just put their hands up and say, fuck this, I don't even want to listen because it's too confusing. It doesn't make sense.
There's
nothing
too much
is
data.
Nothing is making sense, so I can't make sense of it. I don't want to pay attention to it.
And then so what I see on all of these articles across the world, whether it's on Facebook or on Reddit or on all these other forums, is then you have people who don't read it. Like, there's a couple of different reading apps. Like, I mean, Newsly's been pretty cool, which, by the way, they updated this thing to where now you get radio stations. So
yeah, guys, download Newsly today.
But yeah, no, they now, like, I can listen to Maui radio when I go mainland.
I know, that's a feature of Newsly.
Yeah. It's like, where did Sarah go? She got replaced by advertisement, Sarah. We're affiliating right now. No, I'm just kidding. But anyways, good job, Sarah. Good job.
I'm learning.
I wholly accept my Newsly overlords. But no, but that's the thing is, like, when I'm not using that, there's a couple RSS apps that, like, I'll use because they'll let you see the data of, like, how many people clicked on this article versus how many minutes of this article was read versus how many percentage of this article is read.
Yeah.
And on average, people only read 3 to 7% of an article. That means the headline, the first photo, and the caption on the first photo.
Yep.
That's all people see. People don't even play the video. The video gets a 3-second play and then they go, oh, there's an ad. Fuck it, I'm out of here.
Yeah, to a T. That's what I do.
Yeah, I know.
No, or I just
I've
go
been-
straight to the comments because I'm like, the comments. I'll figure out what actually happened
No,
through the
you
comments.
won't,
Yes, because usually there's somebody there that says you didn't actually read the article.
Yes, but
there's
that's
always that
one in
person.
1,000. You're part of the 97% of the people that go to comments to find it out, and then because if only 3% of that article's read, anybody who says they've read it, there's only a 1 in 1,000 chance that
That they actually did read it.
Exactly. So someone could go on there and say that, and then and that's the thing. If you get there early and you find one person who read it, and then it inspires you to read the article, and you're like,
Well, it
oh,
goes
thank
back
God
to
it's
what
so
you
true.
said. Everybody's just bombarded with so much information. It's hard to it's hard to maneuver. It's hard to even take in all of that information. So we're just taking little snippets of
What?
all of this information all at once, and we're not actually getting a full story. We're just getting a very jumbled kind of story, and trying to piece it all together for it to make sense, and it never makes sense.
Yeah.
Damn.
But going back to the way that affects something like stocks and Netflix.
Yeah.
And so they're I mean, what's interesting is their advertising platform is now gonna they're gonna try to rake revenue off of people who want to put ads in front of their movies now. I mean, they're gonna pretty much become Pluto TV.
Yeah.
So
this is a bad direction for them, I feel like. I think this is a very
yeah.
wrong direction. Yeah,
Well,
people are going to be like...
antithetical to their original mission statement.
Well, do you think cable is going to come back? Is there going to be a
cable already
comeback?
has come back because now
really-
we got Paramount Plus, we've
That's
got Disney
true.
Plus, we got all of the big channels. Now
Up
became their own
TV,
network.
Up TV. You can download
Yeah,
Up
Philo.
TV now.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So I mean,
Up TV next Sunday. Make sure 7 p.m. to watch Aloha with Love.
oh, we'll talk about that more in a little bit.
Don't worry, I'm just dropping it throughout. I'm just
subconsciously.
I'm just
7 p.m.,
sprinkling.
7 p.m.
Yeah, 7 p.m. next Sunday, guys.
In Hawaii, it's channel 407.
See those Diva
Spectrum
Curl
407.
curls in all of its glory before Diva Curl ruined them.
Watch out. But you know who we need to be watching out for in Hawaii right now?
Oh yeah, I do know who we need to be watching out for.
Tell me, Sarah.
Yes.
Ezra Miller.
Ezra Miller. I think everybody in Hawaii kind of been hearing what he's been doing, huh?
Man, it's like he's
He's
like
causing a ruckus.
Yeah.
He's running around just causing a ruckus on different islands.
And he's been causing ruckus for a long time. So I guess he dropped into Oahu, and then there was one karaoke brawl, and then they let him go. But then he went Big Island, and they get one fight over there. But I guess they're gonna let him go, which is crazy because when they were at Justice League and he was in Russia, he chokeslammed a prostitute at a rave, and they let him go.
Chokeslammed
Yes.
a prostitute? What did the
Yeah.
prostitute do?
They were existing. What did the person who was doing karaoke do?
I don't know.
They were
I don't know the whole
existing.
story. Why did he get so
but
mad?
that's-
Why are you so mad,
Because he's
Ezra?
a freaking drug addict candy kid. And I don't care if anybody can hear me right now because you know what? He a disgrace. So if anybody know him, anybody want to give him lickings, show up with your slipper and just be like, pop, get the fuck out.
Right?
Don't need to bury him. Just tell him he's not invited anymore because he's just exploiting his relationship with Hawaii now.
Yeah, we don't like that. Sorry, Ezra Miller.
No, don't be sorry.
Sorry, you gotta go.
Yeah, don't
Sorry,
be
you
sorry.
gotta go.
Get the fuck out.
You gotta go. You're causing a ruckus. We don't want ruckuses.
Yep. But it's just, I mean, at this point, if it comes out again the next time he visits, to just be like, Hanaho, take a drink. What's the point? He's just one terrible drinking game at this point. Every time Ezra Miller will bop one fool in public, take a drink.
Mm-hmm. Right? It becomes a drinking game.
It is, because now we can count. This guy has a level of privilege that I don't understand. So is he using whatever connections he's got through his friends in Hollywood?
He must
Or
be.
is
He must be. There must
just
be
the fact
something
that
going
he
on.
Has a lot of money.
Do you think he's
Or
paying him off?
Maybe he has a really good lawyer. I don't know.
He must have a really good lawyer.
Oh
if he's
yeah.
paying- he obviously.
If his business is playing the Flash and choke slamming prostitutes, of course he's got to have a good lawyer.
Oh, right?
Yeah, good enough for his royalties and good enough for his payouts.
Yep.
And non-disclosure agreements after everything's settled. Wow. And hopefully burying it in the press so nobody remembers it in 5 years when he does it again.
Cancel.
No, I think it's beyond cancel. I think we need to start icing people. We just cold shoulder. It's beyond, cancel culture doesn't have any teeth. I was taught one of
We
the...
gotta ghost him. Everybody just ghost him.
No, here, if there's anything I've been taught, Hawaiians have the warmest hearts but the coldest shoulders.
Dude, that's how Puerto Ricans are, too.
Exactly, sister.
Puerto Ricans, they'll be so loving and so great, but the second you show, some kind of like, I don't know, non-loyalty or offense or something, ooh, they turn.
They do.
Yep. But you know what? But rightfully so. You're going to be cool until you're cool. And if you're not cool, well, you know what? Then we ain't cool with you.
Couldn't have said it better myself. So you know what? Ezra Miller, you better keep your nose clean. This is the final.
Be cool, Ezra,
one.
and we cool with you.
But
you weren't cool, so now we not cool with you. Bye.
If I see you on the beach, I'm going to smack you with my olkai over your head. Hit you like one cockroach. Yeah, so, but you know what, in positive news, let's talk about positive celebrities. Let's talk about a celebrity known as Sarah Rodriguez.
Oh my gosh, guys. So my very first movie is premiering next week. Yes, very, very excited. It is a film directed by Brian Herzlinger. It was all filmed on Maui. It used local talent. Yes, local talent. Like a few. Like what? How many did we have? We had at least 4 or 5 local talents on there, right?
When you think about it on bigger than just who's in front
the
of the
crew
camera.
as well.
So here's the thing, is because I like...
Let's tell everybody.
Yeah, so I mean...
Let's break it down, like when a film comes to Maui, the potential of like how much money it could be given...
For the economy.
For the economy, exactly. Yeah. The food that we order for catering.
Pastel House, bruh, you bail this out every time.
Shout out.
Everybody, if you hit their food truck, Pastel House is the bomb. If you like not cook for the weekend and you got to feed all your kids because your aunties and your friends and your sisters, cousins coming over, Pastel House. Hey, bro, good food on time, dependable.
They are very dependable.
Well, yeah. Name me a bugger who could go ahead and pick up at 4:00 in the morning, have the food ready by 5.
We had
on
breakfast.
set by 6.
Yes.
Done, bro.
I loved my breakfast from them.
Yeah.
I have a gluten-free allergy, and they made sure they had delicious gluten-free options for me every day. Thank you, Pastele House.
Legit.
Let's explain, because I don't think people realize like the benefits of a movie coming and how it actually positively can impact an island like us.
Yeah, so if you at least have a SAG minimum budget film, you could be bringing upwards of $200,000 to the economy for just 15 days. Think about that. That's a good number.
Yes.
And it could be even bigger if you have bigger budget productions, like we're going to have coming out over the next couple of years. There's so much coming out. I mean, Jason Momoa is coming to town.
Yes.
That Apple TV movie, you don't realize that could employ 200 people for 3 months.
Easy.
That's how many kids who are graduating right now, which by the way, we got to get Brian on here,
Let's try to have him like next week or something. Let's ask him, because we really need to talk to him about
all these kids coming out of the UH Maui program who are capable now of going straight into the field, and then all these opportunities are coming up. So to more talk about these opportunities, and then we'll talk about Aloha with Love more.
Yes.
But the thing is like you got to use local vendors because we go eat local.
Exactly,
so you
local
gotta
vendors.
Buy local food. You're not going to stop, unless you can afford a chef for your movie, you're going to call a local guy and they go make your food.
Boom, they just got a job.
We get breakfast from Pook Soup. We get lunch from Pastele House. We use Dolly's for a little bit. The same place that Dolly's owns over at Santa Kahana. And then like places that we see along the way, maybe one food truck cart, et cetera, et cetera. But the thing is
it's putting money into people's pockets here that have businesses here.
And then we give entry-level jobs to all the kids who haven't learned the trade yet.
So they're training as well on the job. So that's another benefit, okay?
Yeah.
What? Give us more benefits.
More benefits.
Let's break this shit down, Kawika.
Well, then the cool part is then it goes in another couple directions, is that you might get the opportunity to get union days to get into SAG or IATSE, or you might even get experience that could get you onto an indie set in a better role later, and you can maybe jump up the line. And in some cases with these low budget films, you may not be getting paid the best, but it's gonna.
It's an investment in these children's careers, though.
But it is like for entry level jobs, these under $1 million budget pictures, they're a really good place to try out new talent.
Exactly.
And then that's the thing. It's like, so now going back to like Aloha with Love, we had over almost 20 crew members that were local or Kanaka. So you got Kama'aina and Kanaka Maoli getting offered jobs. And then we brought a few
people from the mainland to give us their mana'o because we didn't have those positions to fulfill over here.
Which is actually great because now people can learn from outside sources.
Yes. Well, and then the interesting case is like that's how I got pulled back to Maui. Is they're like, oh, you're Kanaka, but like your family moved to mainland. Hey, let's bring you back. So then how do you get refugee Hawaiians to move back home? You give them jobs in their field.
Yeah.
How many kids? You already know an actress I know that had moved mainland in order to compete.
Exactly.
You know, how many crew members do you think do that?
So many.
Exactly.
So many. Well, there's been many times where I've even think like, can I do it? I can't make it out here because it's just not enough. So that's why we need to make more opportunities out here so people can actually stay.
Yes.
And do what they love to do.
Absolutely.
I'm actually like, I might possibly be able to stay on Maui and have a thriving acting career if we make those opportunities available for everybody.
Yes, so, and that's exactly what something like Aloha with Love was. It was an opportunity, a great one to give people a place on the call sheet, a great one to give...
Just to show the world that Maui has some talent and that we can provide,
quality entertainment. Quality jobs.
Exactly, and a different
education.
story, and
Yes.
a different story that needs to be told more.
Nail on the head. Absolutely. So, with that being said, Aloha with Love is going to be on Up TV. If you're watching local Hawaii, that's 407 on Spectrum.
It's starring Trevor Donovan and Tiffany Smith, who they're just amazing, and they were just a joy to work with.
Oh, absolutely.
They were a joy to work with. They were so awesome.
Trevor is a doll. It was cool. For what little time I got to chit chat with Tiffany, she is such a pleasure.
She is the sweetest.
I knew who Tiffany was before this.
Yeah.
Before she was even playing Meghan Markle on TV, I was like, oh my God, that's the Red Shirt Diaries girl. Like, she's super nerd. She's got so much credit. Like, I was like, that's Tiffany Smith. And they're like, how the hell do you know who Tiffany Smith is? Like, if you a nerd, you know who Tiffany Smith is. She gonna be in He-Man. Oh my God, she gonna be in He-Man.
Yeah.
Like, so, like, she's the bomb. And she's
the
such
bomb.
a good person.
She's a good person.
A good person.
She's a hard worker. She's a phenomenal actress. She was a joy to work with. And like I said, this was my first movie. And like we had talked about this before, but this is what I loved about Tiffany, and I want to say it because she deserves all this credit. And I love women like her that encourage other women. And I was first time on set, I was literally thought I was going to throw up. I was so nervous. She talked me down from my nervousness. She would explain lingo that I didn't know. Like let's say the director said, we're going to do this next setup for this next shot. And I had no idea what he was talking about. She made sure to let me know, but to make it super non-obvious that she was letting me know what was going on. She was like, hey, what he just said means like this, and this, and this. So like, that's what that means. So yeah, just so you know. Like, but in the coolest, sweetest way, not to like show everybody that I didn't know what the hell was going on. So like, those are the type of people that are just so amazing. So I'm so glad that she has so many opportunities. She's blowing up like she is because she's the kind of people that freaking deserve it in this industry.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. And so for those of you guys who listen in from my fan base that don't know Sarah and the Hallmark scene, but you probably know who Tiffany Smith is because of her nerd status. This is it's something fun to check out. You could probably use it as something to watch with your girlfriend or your wife. Or show it to your mama and be like, look, Hawaiians on TV.
Yes, exactly. It is a movie, as a family movie for everybody to watch, which is so great that everybody can watch this movie.
That's actually my first secret cameo in years in television. Because as a production coordinator, every once in a while they go, hey, bro, we need a body. Can we burn your face?
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, cool. Put me on screen. Yeah. Whatever. Put me in coach. But then Brian's like, we're gonna need some extra people. Can you hit a spot? Can you do it? Cool. Go to hair and makeup. You don't have your hair, so just go put a shirt on. Let's go.
I love you, Brian Herslinger. He's so awesome.
I love Brian.
Brian is so great. I think too, for that to be the first director that I've worked with, I got the most amazing first experience. It was just it was butterflies and roses on that set.
It was because
it was the most non-stressful, happy-go-lucky. Everything
the
flowed
best
beautifully.
Director to come back to work too.
Amazing.
Because it was just everybody would be like, all right, lights, All right, we good? We good? Oh, looking beautiful over there. All right, keep it up and action.
He makes you
And
feel
he's just-
comfortable.
Yes.
He
and he's
puts
just-
you at ease, and that's
yeah.
what I love. Like, Brian Herzlinger. Yeah,
Oh,
man.
such a joy. Yeah. No, I seriously, I have some very, nothing but precious words to say about that guy.
Yeah.
But
The
yeah.
whole team. Nothing
No, the
but
whole
amazing,
team was
the whole
really good.
team.
The whole team.
The whole
Shout out
team.
to the whole team.
The whole team. We love you.
Everybody. And shoot. And then all my grip and electric brothers that were on that one. We did some crazy fun stuff. I mean, it was a lot of 12x12 silks going up in the air. But I mean, there was that fun time where we put Chris on the roof. That was we had to set up that menace arm, and then we put the 12x12 over you guys' heads so you guys could sit on the porch and have that scene.
And I had no idea somebody was up there.
Nobody
I had
knew
no
there
idea.
was one brought up on top of the roof.
Oh,
making
you
sure everyone was
ninja. You roof ninja.
Yep, Chris is the roof ninja, bro. And yeah, he was making sure you were safe and looking pretty all at the same time.
Oh, thanks, Chris.
Yes.
And he was serving up the snacks, too.
And, and he even
was
doubled in
doing
at Crafty one day.
everything.
Yeah, everybody doubled in at Crafty on
That's
that movie.
amazing. Yep,
Yeah.
they sure did.
Oh, man.
Good crew. Damn.
Yeah,
If I could
really good.
relive those moments, I
Yeah.
would. I would relive that whole 2 weeks
Best years
again.
of my life.
It was so great. So, yes, Up TV next week, Sunday, 7 p.m.
So Hawaii Local, that's channel 407 on Spectrum, or you can find them on the Philo app. That's PHILO Philo. It's gonna be on 7 p.m.
7 p.m.
Yep.
7 p.m. Or you can stream it on their app as well.
Yeah, once it premieres, it's streaming on the app.
Stream it on the app.
Yeah, and then make sure to check out everybody in that crew: Tiffany Smith, Trevor Donovan, Sarah Rodriguez.
Yeah, that's me, guys. That's
Look
me.
at you.
I'm gonna be on TV. Mom, I'm on TV now. I'm a real actress.
Vilified, verified, and dignified now.
Yes.
Yes. All right. And so speaking of other dignified things, hey, we still running casting right now.
We're still running casting.
There's still another week or so left at Manawa Casting. We got...
Go ahead and get bit by the acting bug, guys.
Yeah. So a lot of you guys who've been thinking about getting in, or maybe you were just one extra on Aloha with Love, or maybe you were working Crafty on Maneater.
Or maybe you have absolutely no experience at all, and you're like, wow, that sounds cool. I want to work on a set with Kawika and Sarah.
And there's real jobs too. So you don't maybe you're not a camera person, but maybe you will operate camera, or maybe you know how to do accounting or HR paperwork.
Everything,
Everything.
right?
A movie
Maybe
set.
you just want to drive people around.
Oh,
hey,
yeah.
we need that too.
Hey, I'm calling Johnny Boston for that. Are you kidding me?
Johnny
I love Johnny Boston. Shout out to John Hodgevik.
Yes.
Johnny Boston.
I've known Johnny for years,
Oh,
way
dude.
before these films. Yeah, Johnny got me go way back. Love me some Johnny.
He's my favorite transpo guy to talk story with.
Excellent,
because,
right?
Sometimes you need some random person to just talk with you.
Right, maybe I just need to go to another base camp for a little. Johnny!
Yeah, sometimes
Johnny?
producers are like, that transpo guy talks too much. I'd be like, bruh, you know what? I just spent all this time on set being one asshole, and he's the happiest guy here.
Exactly.
That's morale.
You go to the next base and you're a happier camper.
Yep.
With John by your side.
Yeah, and it'd take 5 minutes. You're like, you know what? I was working on a Crucible set with Daniel Day-Lewis. Man, that guy's a really good guy. He was in the trenches with us, and he got his carpenter's card. He's a badass.
Dude, your impressions are the freaking best. It sounds just like
I spent many an hour in a car with Johnny Boston.
Man, I love that guy. Oh, we gotta call him up.
Oh, yes. No. Yeah. He was like, Kawika, you want to make a movie? I'll drive cars. I'd be like, yeah, I'm going to call you.
Yeah,
Of course I'm
and
gonna
we'll
call you.
ride with you.
Well, and
And we wanna
we'll
ride
start
with
looking
you.
for crew, actually,
Yeah.
because you know what? That was the funny part was Uncle Dave, actually, yeah, so Dave Ray has hit me up on Facebook. He saw the casting, and he's like, you got one job. I'm like, of course I call you when
I got one job for you.
Yeah. So that's the other thing is, guys out there, all my grippies, where my grippies at? So all my hard workers, all you guys who are push one truck, drive one truck, carry one truck. I get one job for
We
you.
want you.
Yeah.
We want you, and we want
Competitive
you.
wages, real jobs, weekly pay, on-time pay, secured pay. Don't you like that? You like pay for your bills,
I
and
do.
then still have money left
I like
over
to
for your
eat.
family.
I like to eat and pay my bills and live my life.
Exactly, because especially if I'm gonna get on the air every week and tell you to fight for your paycheck, I'm gonna be the first one to say when I run a ship, everybody gets paid.
Exactly.
So for those of you out there that are looking to act, for those of you who are looking to sing, you looking to crew, you want to light a stage, you want to gaff the sun.
Do it and get paid while you're doing it.
Exactly. So we got the acting notice up. It's going to be up until April 30th. We'll start notifying people of callbacks. depending on the way, we got a lot of good responses, but we're well aware that because of, coming back from COVID and from coming back from this is we just got off the broadcast recording season of all the other big corporate shows. So we know people are changing up their schedule right now, getting prepared for summer. A lot of people just count on the fact that there ain't no work. So they just go, bye. And then they just count, they go find work in another field or they go woof for a couple weeks.
Right.
So, I think that we'll probably end up doing an in-person callbacks, which will also lead to the opening for a cattle call in person. So if you're bad at uploading stuff because you're a Luddite, or if you live in haiku and the wind blows and you cannot upload, guess what? We're probably going to be Paia Town or Kahalui, and you walk in and we give you sides and you go, I try, and we go, we see you try.
Yes.
And then that's what we're going to do. And so then we're going to get everybody hooked up. And
everybody's welcome to try.
Absolutely. So everybody's invited. And if you want to check them out online, we'll put the notice up in the show notes again. Auditions are really simple. We're just looking for monologues.
If you have any question, guys, for monologue, feel free to reach. Yeah, feel free to reach. You have any questions whatsoever.
And I don't care where your monologues come from. I want you to give me your best self.
I also, on my YouTube, Mother Maui TV, I have some videos on how to do a monologue. How to do a monologue if you have no budget. You just want to do a monologue and all you have is your phone. Go ahead and check that out and, learn how to do a monologue,
I think we're probably going to have to do some fresh ones just for this week period because in that way, it'll maybe, refresh some people on the conversation and maybe we'll get some more interest. And then also that way for future auditions, we'll already have something evergreen you guys can always check back on. So every time we do have a new audition, you can go back to referral videos of if you're a kid, because I was thinking, Coco's so talented.
Coco's really talented.
Such a great help on showing other keiki how to audition properly. And then, that way.
Yeah, we're going to do some examples. We're going to do some examples for you guys so you guys know, because I have had a couple people be like, oh my gosh, I've never done a monologue before. It's that's okay. It is totally fine, guys. We know there's a lot of people out here that have never done it before. Give it a try. Give it a try. You're not going to be judged.
Yep,
absolutely.
And that's the thing that I really want to stress as an indie outfit. Yes, I mean, I'm going to say this now, salted in the air, but it's not something that you brag about until it's done. But we will make the effort to get signatories so that way we can play with union players. But at the same time, for all you indie guys who haven't had union instruction or paid for training or gone to a school or a class or even a seminar or anything, do not feel intimidated by other people who may not even be auditioning against you. Just send me an audition because it's my job as an executive producer to see through the talent. It's like a recruitment.
Exactly.
It's like you come in for the draft. I can look at your monologue and go, with enough training, he can make touchdowns.
Exactly, guys.
And then that's the thing is we have directors that know that that's my modus as an executive producer because then I turn to them and I go, hey, John, look, you're going to get some theater kids. And which, by the way, theater kids, for all those people out there who told you was overacting and didn't know that you was just selling it to the cheap seats because they only been one screen director, come to me, Ra.
Yeah.
I got 100 theater shows under my belt, and I know how to turn stage to screen just by dialing you down a scope.
Exactly. So don't get intimidated by, all of a sudden doing TV or film acting, guys. I know that a lot of theater people do get intimidated. I don't know if I can do that.
I want the theater kids.
Yes, exactly. We want you. But I know that a lot of theater people get intimidated transferring to TV and film.
Well, I understand.
And that's
their pain.
why. But hey, guys, we know the process. We got Kawika here that can help you. Just make the first step, guys. Make the first step. We want you on the set with us.
Absolutely. Everybody gets one shot, bro.
Yeah.
This is not a broken gateway system like the rest of Hollywood. This is not a broken gateway system like other industries right now.
We're here to learn. We're all here to learn.
It's spread the manao, and we've got a lot of good allies within the industry that want to see the same things too.
Exactly.
That's why I love lifting up people like Brian Cohn over at the UH Maui campus. Young men like Austin, Josiah, Gianna, great union allies like Glenn Beatles. These are the people that make up the scene. Tracy Bennett over at the film office. Donnie Dawson over at the state film office. And even for as much hell people want to heckle and jekyll Mr. Victorino's, he shows up for the film industry.
Yeah, he sure does.
Maybe we could just use the fact that we got the people have a bone to pick. You can tell me the bone to pick, and I go sit down with Uncle, and I'd be like, "Hey, Uncle, they like this fixed." And then maybe
we can actually get some things done.
Get it fixed, or maybe we could tell him, "Sorry, we're voting for Bisson." But I don't know.
had to figure them out, and we'll figure that out together. But like as things come along, like for Manawa Cow and for all these productions, like we have the machine ready. This is something that's been personally for me in production for almost a decade, preparing to come back home. This has been something that now with the team is like, I mean, I just started getting all the 1 year ago, 2 year ago, 3 year ago today, like notifications on Facebook. I'm like, shit, man, it's been a year since the Ohana Racers sizzle. It's been 6 months since Comic-Con Special Edition. It's been 2 years since we all got dragged into this together and then started forming this hui. So like we got a lot of mojo, you know, and we want to share all of them out what we can. We want to put kalo in people's pockets so that way they can pay the rent and feed the children and make something out of themselves.
Absolutely.
You know, I mean, we've been the world's concierge for how many years? We've been dancing on stage for everyone else, and everybody goes, "Oh, you're so talented." Well, then why are we still the drug dealer on Hawaii 5-0?
Exactly.
You know. So it's like cool that we can be walk-on cop number 3 that gets on, "Hi, officer." It looks
Yes,
like
let them know. Hey guys, we got a brain too.
Yeah.
Hey guys, we got a brain too, and we've got more to show than just, you know, a little a hula dance.
Yeah.
Right?
No. Yeah. I can melee if you give me the chance, bro.
Yeah.
No, I like you, Oli. Let's hear you speak. Let's give everybody the opportunity to speak. And with that, I gotta say, check them out, guys. Make sure to get them, and then even look at like all those movies that have been coming out recently. There's a lot of same people that work on those indie sets together. So then it's gonna be cool because we got guys like that are gonna be showing up that are signing on.
Yep.
We got real crew members. We got boys from Human Productions. We got boys from Aloha.
We got some of the cream of the crop.
We got some of the cream of the crop from the stage managers. Man, everybody, whether they're the old school uncles or the new school grips, like. All the tech guys are down. All the young actors are ready. We have some of the freshest eyes behind the camera.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. Like,
Brilliant talent.
I want to make 100 movies with Austin.
Austin is just phenomenal.
He's so phenomenal.
He's so good.
If you want to join this phenomenal team, check out @Manavakau on Facebook and Instagram. You can get our Google form in the show notes. Tells you how to audition, prepare a 1-minute comedic or 1-minute dramatic monologue, or both, depending on what you're auditioning for. If you try audition for everything, just send us both. Or just send us the one if you're scared. Or just send us your reel. Or just say, "Hi, my name's Steven, I'm 7-year-old. I'm from Kapalua and I apply for movie." And then we'd be like, "Yeah, Steven, we check you out, Steven." So go ahead and try them. And we'll see you guys, and we'll call you. And no matter what, we're going to try to figure out if it, that's my promise. I'm not going to say, "Oh, you get to be one star." It's who can perform, but I try to give everyone one job. And so then that way we actually, if you're interested in becoming a PA or you want to learn camera, I'll figure out a way to make you third AC. So then that way you can at least watch the best first and second AC, or we send you to go work with some of the greatest production designers. I mean, hey, maybe we can get Bert Sakata to show up with the kids and yeah. I love Bert.
Oh my gosh, Bert. Oh,
Uncle is so fun to be with.
Bert. I do. Yeah, he's such a sweetheart.
The last time I fully worked with him, because he was on Aloha with Love.
Yeah.
But we worked $1 million, and he comes up to me and he goes, Kawika, I need you to go and pick up one motor scooter. You got one van? Yeah, but Uncle, how am I going to get the van back? No, you might have to put it inside of the van. Oh no, Uncle. And then I put one moped inside of a van and I went and drive them to Maui Tropical Plantation. That's the adventures you go on when you work with Bert, and I love it.
Bert! Oh, Bert's got to come back.
Yeah.
We got to get Bert on the set.
Yes. We get all them kids. We get all the Mappa kids, all the crazy, part-time guys. Let's make them full-time guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, and with that being said, beautiful. Beautiful Sunday. Beautiful Sunday. I think I go beach now. What do you think, Sarah?
Let's go to the beach.
Yeah. Let's go get a photo shoot done. Let's go
hop along.
Yeah. We go big beach today. Yeah. So, you enjoy your Sundays, folks. We see you next Sundays, maybe some fun stuff in between. We got a lot of content coming out of the machine. Don't forget those castings. Don't forget Aloha with Love, Spectrum TV, Channel 407 Local, Philo Streaming, Sarah Rodriguez.
Ah.
Beautiful Sunday. Aloha.
Aloha.
Rabbit Holes is a Manawa production. This episode was produced by Kawika Hoke and Sarah Rodriguez. Make sure to subscribe and follow on your favorite podcast platforms to add our weekly episodes to your queue.